Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today's video, it's kind of a response to a video that I seen the other day on YouTube. You see that by the title of the video. And obviously it's a video that the channel themselves are not going to see, right? I'm Ryan, with nearly 11,000 subscribers. By the way, subscribe down below. Let's get that count up as high as possible. Love the support. Cheeky dig there. Obviously they're not going to see this video, right? But the video in general, you know, it was very interesting to say the least. You know, it's not a lot you see bigger channels kind of focus on Scottish football, make videos about Celtic, Rangers, etc. So when they do, it is interesting. It's always interesting to look in the comments section as well to get the opinions of, you know, Scottish people and those, you know, kind of typical opinions from the English people down south who love to take the digs at Celtic and love to slate our league. But the video basically was, are Celtic ruining Scottish football? It's from COPA 90. I'm sure the majority of people on this channel probably seen it. And it was actually a mate who gave me an idea to make this video. I kind of wanted to give my response to it and kind of discuss my opinion on whether or not Celtic are ruining Scottish football. If the game has been, you know, damaged up here due to the dominance that Celtic have had in the past, you know, 5, 6, 7 seasons since Rangers were liquidated and such. You know, it's been a one-team race, but you know, across Europe, there's a case for the majority of leagues for, you know, having one-horse races. But we'll come on to that. But, you know, a lot of people in the video interviewed were Celtic fans. You know, there was sort of other teams as well being interviewed, giving their opinion on a Scottish football game if it's been ruined. In my opinion, I'm going to start off with that straight away. I don't think Celtic has ruined the state of Scottish football whatsoever. I think Scottish football right now at this present moment is the best that it's been in years. Even before Rangers were demoted. The last really decent season that I can remember was 2008, 2009. Around that time, before Tony Mowbray came in. And I'm not just saying that because Celtic then went on to lose 3 league titles in a row. It's just, that is when it seemed to take the point of where the two teams dipped in quality. Rangers got into financial issues, of course, and all the kind of stuff happened. And then it kind of took that kind of void and being not as enjoyable a product as it used to be in the past. You know, through the early 2000s when Larsson played for Celtic and, you know, Rangers had a lot of their big players due to EBTs and such, you know. I had to get a wee dig in there. But, you know, all these big players playing for Celtic and Rangers, you know, it was at its peak and then just kind of faded away over time. And then, you know, I think now it's the best it's been in such a long time. I think right now the league is in a fantastic position. You know, teams like Aberdeen, Hibs, Rangers, you know, they're hitting their best form that they've been in, you know, a long time. Rangers just coming off the back of what they had to go through in 2012, and yes, are not hitting the heights that their fans would like to see them in. But, you know, the competition that has arisen between, you know, them, Aberdeen and Hibernian to take the, you know, the claim, the stake for the claim, or the claim for the stake, or what's the way about, I don't know, for second place. You know, it's, you know, there's a lot of competition, healthy competition in the league, and even as you go down the table, look at the rise of Kilmarnock this season. It seems like Hearts, who, you know, had a little bit of a resurgence with young players coming through and such. You know, all these young players being developed. I think the league is in the most healthy state that it's been in a long time. You know, since I would say that, you know, that year like 2008. So absolutely not. I don't think Celtic have ruined the state of Scottish football whatsoever. This thing that I said at the start of the video, a lot of people saying, oh, it's just became so dominated. It's a one-horse race. It's blah, blah, this, that, next thing. It's no competition. Well, you look at other leagues around Europe. You take a look at Germany. This is the most obvious thing to point out. You have a look at Germany. You have a look at Italy. You have a look at France. All these leagues, all dominated by the one team, Bayern Munich, Juventus, PSG. Even when you go to Spain, same two teams every year. England is really the only big league that I can think of where it's not dominated by the same team every year. There's, you know, a varied amount of winners. And that's what they're staked to being the best league in the world is. That's what they'll use to claim that. But, you know, you look across Europe, there's always going to be that one team. One team is obviously always going to have the financial capabilities to be above every team. To buy the best players, to develop the best players, to have the best staff, facilities. There's always going to be that one team. And, you know, a team like Rangers, who are equally as big as Celtic in a lot of terms, you know, they need to get themselves into a healthy position to bring that kind of competition back to our league. But I think it is really unfair and disrespectful the way a lot of people look at the league, and I've discussed that so many times on the channel. But by no means do I think that phone. But by no means do I think we have ruined the state of Scottish football. You look at Celtic and the things they have done over the past 5 seasons, the players they have developed, the players that they have brought through the system of not just signing, but also the youth system, and especially this season as well. You see the players, you know, we're looking to develop our country's game. I think that is a major fact to show that we're not ruining Scottish football. Look at the players, you know, that we've developed through the Scottish national team selection, right? You have a look at Gordon Strachan. He fielded 7, I think, Celtic players in the one team not too long ago. You know, there was Callum McGregor, there was Craig Gordon, Stuart Armstrong, Kieran Tierney. All these players, Lee Griffiths, the rest of them, a lot of Scottish players. We are trying to improve not just our team, but, you know, it is helping the national team in a sense. So the national team has had a lot to do with the diminishing... what's the word? Reputation of our league. You know, it has had a lot to do with that national team's lack of success. That hasn't been great. It hasn't reflected well in the SFA and our games, our country's game. That is one of the key factors. But if you look at Celtic, we have tried to bring through a lot of players who are going to try and, you know, be the key men for the Scottish national team. And a lot of these guys are Griffiths, Armstrong, etc., Tierney. Some of the biggest names within the Scotland team. And we're looking forward to the future as well. We're bringing in players, Lewis Morgan, young Scotsman, who's undoubtedly going to be a Scotland player in the future. Jack Hendry, we've brought him in, trying to improve him. Scott Bain brought him in, tried to improve him. All these younger players that are going to come up, Anthony Ralston, Calvin Miller, Mikey Johnson. You know, we are keeping an eye on our homegrown talents to try and improve Scotland in general, the national team, and not just focusing on signing players from overseas. We are looking to improve our team on a domestic level, which will help Scotland, and ultimately the Scotland team is only going to get better over time with these players being produced from Celtic. I think it would be a far cry to say that we've ruined the league. Yes, we've won it every year. A lot of people love to see healthy competition, but there's not much we could do about it when teams don't get the finances they would perhaps like from the big television broadcasters such as Sky and BT. You look down in England, the teams finishing 20th in the table are getting hundreds of millions of pounds, whereas, you know, the team that finishes second in the Scottish Premiership is getting like 1 or 2 million. It's a joke, it's ridiculous, and if they had the financial backing, that even, you know, 10-20% of what these teams in the bottom stages of the Premier League are getting down south, it would be unbelievable, an unbelievable difference. Teams like Aberdeen might be actually run us a lot closer to the league title challenge. It wouldn't maybe be a mile every year, but you look at it and things are getting closer. This season hasn't been a walk in the park for Celtic whatsoever. It's not like this invincible season that we had last year that everybody seems to have the perception in England that Celtic are unbeatable, and it's just, you know, a lot of crap up here. We're not unbeatable. At the end of the day, Celtic have had one invincible season in their existence. It was a once in a lifetime freak show event, you could say, for us to have an invincible season. It's not going to happen again, and a lot of teams are improving up here. Kilmarnock are the key example of this season. A lot of teams are getting better, the product is getting better, we're attracting a lot of better players. I mean, who at the start of this season thought Kilmarnock would have landed? And I know he's not the biggest player in the world, he's not fantastic. Yusuf Malumbu was a decent enough player at West Bromwich Albion, a Premier League side. Who would have pictured him becoming such a key player at Kilmarnock, who struggled to get 1,000 fans in their stadium at the start of this season? Who would have pictured stuff like that? Hearts managed to bring in Stephen Naismith, a big name in the Scottish game, a big name down south, made a name for himself at teams like Everton and Norwich. He'd done fairly decent. A lot of bigger names coming up to the game up here. Bruno Alves ended up going to Rangers. You know, there's a lot of big things happening. I think the game has been improving. And if anything, the move of Brendan Rodgers coming to Celtic has really, really improved the game up here. I'm really motivated a lot of players, managers, to keep up more of an eye on our game, pay some attention to us and give us the respect we perhaps deserve. You know, it might not be filled with money and hundreds of millions of pounds signings, but there's a lot of things up here that I think we do better than down south and maybe other countries. You know, there's a lot of passion here, a lot of fans that just care about the football on the park rather than the business behind it. And at the end of the day, a lot of people respect that. A lot of people respect the fact that it's not a tourist attraction up here. It's just what we like to see in football. And I think Celtic have been a key reason for that improving this year. I would generally say, and that's me not being biased towards Celtic, I'd say the same thing if Brendan Rodgers was to manage Rangers. His appointment as Celtic manager definitely did improve the reputation of our league. It really did help attract these kind of guys to come here. Stevie Clark, Owen Coyle, you know, he took a move to Ross County. That's someone who was linked with the Celtic job continuously. And yes, it was a disastrous term he had at Ross County, and I don't rate him as a manager whatsoever, but a name like him to go to a team like Ross County after managing umpteen Premier League teams is still a really good appointment for a team of their size. In a position that they were in, and the financial position they were in as well. So, you know, I think the video, my response to it in general is no, I don't think Celtic are ruining Scottish football. A lot of people will disagree, a lot of people may agree, but if anything, I think we've done a lot of good, and the product is getting better. It's undoubtedly getting better, and I think with the same attention, you know, that BT Sport have been helping to give us. For example, they've been covering the game fantastically since coming in, much better than Sky Sports. You know, if we got that same exposure, if we got even just more exposure and such, more money into the league, it could, you know, just get better and better and better. And it's only a matter of time before, you know, the likes of Hibs, Aberdeen, Rangers and such are, you know, trying to fight their way back into European group stages, you know. Rangers had a disastrous time at trying to do it this season when they got knocked out from Progress and Idacom. Had to get that in as well. But, you know, I think next season we could see a lot of improvement. Neil Lennon, you know, a big man who wants a lot of big things for Hibs, a big manager for them. But aye, I think things are going well. I don't think Celtic are ruining the state of Scottish football. So aye, if you have enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Let me know your opinions in the comments below. And I'll see you all next time.